in the session today. आप सबका स्वागत है आज के session में. And I'm sure that you're all excited to learn about millets. You will get to know a lot of new things which you had not heard or clarify about millets. So we will be learning in the session what are the different types of millets. Millets बहुत दो major types की होती हैं. उसके बारे में जानेंगे. Millet, what are the benefits of eating millets? How to buy millets? What are the different facts about millet? Some people say, okay, and it's not good for thyroid. You can't eat it in summers. So these are all myths which Pallavi will be demystifying for us. And when we start with millets, we all have challenges, how to cook, how much to soak them, what type of dishes to make. So we will clarify those challenges. Recipe today is jowar millet cake, and then we will share what are the special offers we have, whether it is about whether you want to buy millet products or you want to learn millet cooking. So we have some exciting offers for every one of you. So our expert today is, some people are saying that they can't hear me. Is there any issue? Tanishka, Rajat?
No, sir, you are clearly audible.
Okay. Okay, fine. So our expert for the session today is Pallavi. She is co-founder and managing director for Millets for Health, which is a social enterprise founded in 2016, when very few people knew about millets, and she has played a commendable role in spreading this knowledge by doing programs, workshops, making sure people are getting right quality of millets, and also right knowledge how to use them. Because if you may have great millets, but if you don't know how to cook them, how to incorporate in your day-to-day food and lifestyle, that's where the issues are. And she has been in forefront of resolving that and working in India and abroad to make sure that millet reach every household in India. So with this, I would like to just also share that we will be playing this Jowar chocolate demo. You will be surprised with this amazing recipe. And we have some special ebook also, which we will be sharing towards the end of the session. So over to you, Pallavi. Welcome to the session, and we look forward for you to enlighten us on more about millets.
Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome to this fabulous session on millets. I am very, very happy to see again enthusiastic participation. So many of you all set to learn all about millets. Without further ado, one thing that I would like to say, a lot of people are saying that they are unable to hear. It seems that the volume is clear from our end. I really request you to check the volume on your own systems, whatever devices you're using. So please check that once, and then we can make sure that there aren't any issues with this. So without further ado, Ankur, are you going to be presenting the PPT?
If you want, you can do it. I'm already projected it, whichever way you want to.
No, then let's just continue.
Okay.
So what are millets? Millets are basically old Indian grains. They were used as staples in our subcontinent, in India, many, many years ago, as early as, there are documented records. If you look at scriptural and anecdotal evidence, it dates back hundreds of years. There are several records from books in the 1850s up to much later. In fact, almost up to 1961, we see that millets used to form a large part of our cereal consumption. So in India, they used to be used as staples. And now, fortunately, positively, there is a revival around this, and we are sort of going back to our roots, going back to our basics. And that's a very, very welcome move. And I'm really happy that all of you are also trying to, making the efforts to learn about it, and here, have joined here with us today. Next slide, please. So if you look at this map, this is a map from the Agricultural Survey of India, 1956 to 61. And all of the black dots, they show millets. So you can see almost 60-70% of the country, the prevalence was of millets. So they were the major cereals in India before the Green Revolution. So just prior to the Green Revolution, all of this area was completely, it was, so millets were being grown and they were being consumed by Indians. And then we see there's a lot of rice in this belt. So that's also, a lot of very high fiber traditional varieties of rice. The prevalence of wheat is much, much lesser, as we can see clearly from this map. Next slide, please. So there's people ask that, what are the different names of millets in different Indian languages? So there are, there are names in, so whatever you see on the screen, apart from this, there are popular names in Bengali, Odia, and different languages as well. This is just to show you that all the millets were grown all over the country. So it was not just some millets, but they were all the different millets were grown in different parts of the country according to, their own seasons or seasonality, etc. And they were equally popular. Major over the years, major millets, sort of the ones in yellow, which we'll cover a little later. So they sort of retained for several reasons. But so these are the different regional names in different parts of the country. Next slide, please. So millets can be, we understand what they are. So they are cereal grains that were staple. So they are old Indian grains, right? Now these can be categorized into two categories. इनको दो भागों में बांटा जा सकता है. Majorly, एक होता है major millet और minor millet. What are major millets? Major millets को major millets इसलिए कहते हैं क्योंकि एक तो उनका size बड़ा होता है. They are bigger in size, major millets. दूसरा, वो ज़्यादा popular थे क्योंकि उनको प्रोसेस करना इतना मुश्किल नहीं था. सो इट वाज नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू प्रोसेस मेजर मिलेट्स. बेसिक डीहस्किंग भी जरूरत नहीं थी, उसकी बेसिक क्लीनिंग की जरूरत थी. तो खेत से लिया और बेसिक क्लीनिंग किया और वो रेडी है आपका आटा बनाने के लिए, दलिया बनाने के लिए या कुछ और बनाने के लिए. तो ये सीड फॉर्म में ही रहते हैं. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज दैट दीज वर बेसिकली they didn't require a lot of processing. They just required basic cleaning and they were ready to be used as flour, as atta, as dalia. They can even be sprouted because they continue to be in the seed form. And so because of this reason, because they were less difficult to process, easier to process, less difficult to sort of this thing, they were used more and they retained their popularity. Minor millets are smaller millets. So one of the reasons they are called minor millets is because they are small in size. दूसरा, इनका ग्रोइंग एरिया भी कम है, कम एरिया में होते हैं. ये अनपॉपुलर क्यों हुए? क्योंकि माइनर मिलेट्स को ना डीहस्क करना पड़ता है. तो सारे माइनर मिलेट्स की एक आउटर हस्क होती है. ऑल द मिलेट्स, माइनर मिलेट्स हैव एन आउटर हस्क, मच लाइक पैडी राइस, धान के चावल के जैसे, कि उसको कूट के उसका बाहर का छिलका निकालना पड़ता है. They have to remove the outer layer of the minor millets. And what you get inside, so for our products, we call many of these minor millets as millet rice. So they are like paddy rice, धान के चावल के जैसे, मिलेट का चावल जैसे सावा का चावल, कुटकी का चावल, कंगनी का चावल, उस तरीके से, क्योंकि उसका छिलका निकाल देते हैं और अंदर का चावल जो बचता है वो हम खा सकते हैं. आउटर हस्क जो होता है, the outer husk, we cannot digest it. So it's indigestible. It has to be removed. So because that's not digestible by humans, even many animals and birds. So इनको dehusk करना, it was difficult to dehusk and process this, and the majority of the work used to fall on the women of the household. So they became unpopular. Difficulty of processing, lack of mechanization, drudgery of hulling this at home, all of this made them unpopular. Plus वो green revolution के time पे सरकार ने गेहूं और चावल पे इतना फोकस बढ़ा दिया, और क्योंकि ये wheat and rice were looked up on as like great, upward mobility, very good food. So, and they became easier, more accessible. Millets were anyway very difficult to process, especially the minor millets. So they became unpopular. Minor millets became even more unpopular. So that is why we know of them less. But now, of course, again, they're regaining their popularity. So major millets hai bajra, jwar or ragi. Ragi is also called as madua in Hindi. So bajra, jwar and madua are major millets. Bajra pearl millet, jwar is sorghum, and ragi or madua is finger millet. Minor millets are 6. These all have husks. Foxtail millet या कंगनी, कोदो मिलेट, कोदो ही बोलते हैं, लिटिल मिलेट, कुटकी, barnyard millet सामा या सामा का चावल, ब्राउन टॉप मिलेट मकरा और प्रोसो मिलेट यानी चीना। तो ये 6 हैं माइनर मिलेट्स। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। ये कुटकी या लिटिल मिलेट है, तो आपको दिखाने के लिए है, जस्ट एज एन एग्जांपल, कि माइनर मिलेट जो है वो हस्क के साथ, छिलके के साथ कैसा लगता है और डीहल करके कैसा लगता है। तो ऑन द लेफ्ट इज माइनर मिलेट विद द हस्क and on the right is minor millet without the outer husk. So you can see here the outer husk is basically it's very shiny and that needs to be removed. And what you get inside, again, what you get inside, see, this is dehulled, but it is not polished. So it retains its bran and it retains the beige color of the millet, and it retains the mineral content and the fiber content and everything. If it becomes white, then it becomes polished. So it should be dehulled but unpolished. So this is what this is just one of the minor millets. This is what it looks like. Different minor millets look different and they have different colors depending on their nutritional parameters. Next slide, please. Why eat millet? क्यों खाना चाहिए? क्यों इतनी बात हो रही है मिलेट्स के बारे में? क्यों इतना सब पूरा हमारे प्रधानमंत्री से लेके और सारी मशीनरी सब पूरा विश्व ही अब पूरा the whole world is talking about millets again. Why are we talking about millets so much and why should we be eating them? Next. देखिए, सारे मिलेट्स में कुछ क्वालिटीज होती हैं जो कि कॉमन होती हैं. All the millets have some common qualities. One is that all the millets are gluten free in nature. Now people ask that, लोग, बहुत सारे लोग कहते हैं कि क्यों ग्लूटेन के बारे में इतनी बात हो रही है? पहले तो कोई भी ग्लूटेन इंटॉलरेंट नहीं हुआ करता था, ये नया नया फैशन हो गया है. बहुत सारे लोग ऐसी इस तरह की बातें करते हैं. बट अगर हम थोड़ा झांक के देखें, if we go back and look into our history and look into what we used to be consuming, remember the map that we saw in the beginning, a large proportion of the food we used to eat was gluten free. Wheat was very negligible, so it was largely millets or rice in some parts. Even the rice was, of course, rice is gluten free, but even that was higher in fiber than what we get right now. So our food, the entire sort of picture of our food and our platter used to be very, very different. बहुत अलग हुआ करता था हमारा खाना. Traditionally हमारा खाना low gluten. देखिए, सारे millets gluten free होते हैं, मक्का gluten free होता है. हमारा गेहूं उतना खाते ही नहीं थे, चावल ज्यादा खाते थे. गेहूं मतलब as compared to wheat. तो और मिलेट सबसे ज्यादा खाते थे हम लोग. So our food used to be gluten free. तो genetically we are all wired to be eating actually more gluten free food. और अब क्या हो गया है कि मतलब गेहूं तो बढ़ ही गया है हमारी डाइट में. गेहूं के साथ साथ मैदा, रिफाइंड फ्लावर एंड सूजी, विच इज इसेंशियली ग्लूटेन. तो सूजी और मैदे बेस्ड चीजों का मतलब सिर्फ उस फॉर्म में ही और उससे बनी हुई चीजों का कंजम्पशन इतना ज्यादा बढ़ गया है कि ग्लूटेन एक्सेसिव हो गया है हमारी लाइफस्टाइल में. इट हैज बिकम एक्सेसिव. And that is where the problem lies. Something which we cannot digest very well, we are consuming copious amounts of it, very large amounts of it. So that is why it is, so if you're not allergic to gluten, there is no case for completely removing it from your diet. But the idea is to increase the diversity of grain in your diet and increase the diversity of gluten-free millets in your diet so that you get, nutrition from a diverse variety of grains and you get nutrient diversity, which is in general good for our health. So, and all the millets are gluten free in nature. Then the second thing about millets is that they are all high in fiber. So our fiber to carb ratio, which is the glycemic load of the millet, is fabulous. So it is more fiber for every gram of carb that you are consuming as compared to wheat or rice. That makes them complex carbohydrates. So complex carbohydrates, what do? They go into our system, they digest slowly, they give us sustained energy over a longer period. The fiber in millets, it's insoluble fiber. It's very good for our gut and gut health. And gut health is being really talked about nowadays. So because of all of these reasons, the high fiber content of millets is very, very valuable for us. Then all the millets are alkaline in nature. So, our body is like more than 80% alkaline. So that is why alkaline grains are better for us to consume as compared to acidic grains. So wheat and rice come in the acidic category of grains. Millets are all alkaline. So that way also they are excellent for digestion and digestive related issues as well. Next slide, please. So these are some qualities that were consistent across all the millets. So ये जो तीन चीजें हमने बोली, gluten free, high fiber, complex carb और alkaline, ये सब millets में एक जैसा है. उसके अलावा अलग अलग मिलेट्स में अलग अलग न्यूट्रिएंट्स ज्यादा होते हैं. तो foxtail and proso millet are very high in protein. Ragi has excellent amounts of calcium, much more than milk also. Jowar is high in B vitamins. Samak or barnyard millet and bajra are great sources of iron. Bajra also has very good folic acid. Little millet is high in phosphorus. So different millets give us different kind of nutrition. So that's the case of including different types of millets in our diet also. And the more diverse our platter is, like I said earlier, the more diverse our nutrition is. So that's very, very important. Next slide, please. So millets are helpful in management and prevention of chronic diseases. So for sugar levels, because of their high fiber and complex carb nature, they are excellent, and this is so all of this that is on this slide that you see here, this is not something that we are just saying. This has now been scientifically proven. There are documented scientific studies that are talking about the benefits of millets on diabetes, benefits of millets on digestive issues, on blood pressure, on heart disease, on the growth of children. So children grow up to 50% more on a millet-based diet. Weight loss, of course. For cancer patients, these are ideal foods because millets are essentially alkaline and they are gluten-free. So they are ideal for cancer patients. Celiac and IBS support because they are gluten-free. Antioxidants are very high in millets. So, a host of things, they are literally like a nutrition powerhouse and healing foods in that sense. And they are very, very good for us. Next slide, please. Who should eat millets? Just about anyone and everyone can eat millets. Women can eat millets because, after a certain age, you end up popping those calcium and iron pills. Millets are naturally rich in these things. And if we increase the diversity in our food and increase like calcium-rich, iron-rich millets, from natural sources, our body absorbs nutrition in a much nicer way. So we need to increase more millets in our diet to do that. For adults, it helps in immunity management, weight management. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, millets are ideal foods for you because, they are smart in many ways. They are smart nutritionally. They do our work for us. And they are smart from the perspective of climate and the environment as well. So, but for adults, if you're looking from the health perspective, they help in immunity, weight management. For a lot of people who are pre-diabetic, for a lot of people who have, higher cholesterol levels. So inclusion of millets in your diet has been shown to see, clear benefits. So that's again, it's there, it's documented, it's scientific. For elderly, because millets are alkaline, it makes the meal light and healthy. For young children and infants, millets are literally, so, for children, food is a building block of who they are becoming. What they're eating is literally, the body is growing and becoming that. So it's very, very essential that we feed them the right kind of nutrient-rich food. And for infants and young children, millets are ideal. So you must find ways to include this in their diet as well. Make it a family food, make it part of your family's meal. And that's, the best way to include millets in the diets of everyone. Next slide, please. So, if we go through the trouble of learning how to cook with millets and, understanding the different types of millets and spending some time on it to include it in our diet, it's also very important that we buy the right quality of millet. So I'm just going to introduce some aspects of what is important to look at when we are buying millets. Next slide, please. One very important thing, which I slightly covered earlier, is polished versus unpolished millet. Now, this is more prevalent or more significant for the minor millets or the millet rice variants. So millet rice, the outer husk needs to be removed. But in removing the husk, we should not remove the bran. तो बाहर का जो उसका छिलका है वो तो हटना चाहिए, पर जो ब्रांड का लेयर है जिसमें सारा फाइबर है, जिसमें सारा मिनरल कंटेंट है, वो लेयर नहीं हटनी चाहिए. वो हटी है तो आपका मिलेट सफेद होगा. बहुत सारे लोग व्रत के टाइम पे सफेद रंग का सावा का चावल खाते हैं, वो पॉलिश्ड होता है. आपका सावा जो है दाहिने साइड में आपको जो रंग दिखाई दे रहा है, सावा का चावल आपका इस रंग का होना चाहिए. So that should be the color of barnyard rice. During fasting, what you get is extremely polished and extremely white. And that's devoid of the fiber and the nutrition that the millet is promising you. So if you are going through the trouble of eating millets, at least we should be eating the right type, which is going to benefit us. What if you eat polished millets, it's not going to help your diabetes. You have to eat unpolished millets if you want it to benefit your diabetes. So make sure that you're consuming unpolished millet. Very recently, somebody was showing me, ma'am, see, I eat this little millet I bought from some shop. And I looked at it closely. It was actually polished kodo millet. So we have to be really careful and understand. And if you are not able to understand in the beginning, buy from a source that you trust. One thumb rule is none of the millets should be white in color. At best, they are beigeish to not even creamish, mostly beigeish. So none of your millets are white in color. If they are white in color, that means they are polished. Kodo, Little, and Barnyard, these are the most prone to being polished. So be careful when you're buying them. Otherwise, just buy from a source that you trust. Next slide, please. Again, very important, unadulterated millet. You know, there are different varieties. जब आप चावल खरीदने जाते हैं मार्केट में, बहुत तरीके के चावल होते हैं, सबका प्राइस भी अलग अलग होता है. जो बहुत सस्ता चावल होता है वो थोड़ा सा गंदा होता है, फिर थोड़ा उससे महंगा होता है. तो आप थोड़ा प्रीमियम पे करते हैं थोड़ी बेटर क्वालिटी के लिए. You know, we pay a premium for a better quality of the product. Same is the case with millets. You can now everybody is jumping into millets. So many vendors are there. Just when you're buying, one very important consideration is that remember I said that the millet, the minor millet, they need to be dehusked. अगर सीड कंटेंट बहुत ज्यादा है आपके मिलेट में, इसका मतलब कि छिलका निकला हुआ मिलेट तो है, पर बिना छिलका हुआ निकला भी उसमें फेंटा हुआ है, उसमें मिक्स्ड है. तो अगर सीड कंटेंट इफ इट इज हाई इन योर मिलेट राइस, then it may give you digestive issues. It may give you stomach aches. So you have to look at evenly dehulled millets, जिसमें seed content evenly removed हो. बहुत मतलब 1-2% से ज्यादा तो कहीं भी नहीं होना चाहिए. So you should make sure that you are buying evenly dehulled millet. The seed content should not be very high. The second thing is, so this is like less than what, about 50-60 grams of millet that we took from some shelf, of the shelf from some brand, and this was the contaminants we found in it. तो ये देखिए, इसमें polished millets are mixed in this, millet seeds are mixed in this. It is also contaminated with broken bits of rice, and there's a lot of dirt and grits also in this. So, you know, if you have the time and buy it and you can clean it, then you can very well buy anything that you want. But if you don't have the time to spend on cleaning it and doing all of that, then buy the right quality. Anyway, you don't want to buy a gritty product. You don't want to buy anything in which you're getting dust and grime. So buy the, you know, that is one of the aspects of quality. But the most important aspect here is it should not have too much of seed mixed in it. So that you should be very wary of. Next slide, please. So just, this is just a slide will show you how to check adulterated and unadulterated ragi. That's a cotton ball. And if you stick it on the ragi, you'll see that, you know, it'll leave some color. Unadulterated won't leave color, but on a dry ball, mostly. So that's like slightly this thing you should touch, and it shouldn't leave too much color. So this is unadulterated ragi on the right. Next slide, please. These are not millets. So kuttu or buckwheat is technically, it is not a millet. Quinoa is not a millet. Kuttu and quinoa are both gluten-free, but they are not millets. Barley is not even gluten-free. So barley or jaw, jisko kehte hain, that is not gluten-free, that has some amounts of gluten and it's not a millet. Bhutta, again, corn is not a millet, and amaranth is also not a millet, although amaranth comes in the category of a pseudo millet because it does have all the qualities of the millet. It's gluten-free and, you know, it's high in protein, high in fiber, all of that, very, very nutritious, also alkaline. But it's technically not a millet. There is some talk going on about maybe including it in the scope of things, but technically it has not been included in the millet category. Next slide, please. What are some of the myths and facts when it comes to millets? Next. Millets are, people think that millets are difficult to cook. No, millets are easy to cook. किसी भी और अनाज की तरह मिलेट बहुत आसान है. हमको मुश्किल क्या है इसमें? हमको टेक्निक नहीं पता है. We don't know the techniques. What we need to learn are the basic techniques of millet cooking. Once we learn the basic techniques, we can become experts in millet cooking. कुछ भी बना सकते हैं मिलेट से, खाली हमको बेसिक टेक्निक पता होनी चाहिए. तो हमारा ये जो e-learning course है, इसमें what we have done is synthesized all my learning over the past many years. You know, I have my own personal story when it comes to starting millets and starting the business, and I experimented a lot, cooked a lot. So all my learning has been synthesized into this, and, you know, all my tips, everything that I've learned, we've put into this course. If you learn the basic techniques, you can cook just about anything. So very easy to use. Next slide, please. Millets cannot be eaten summers. This is again a myth. Millets can be eaten all year round. Even in, you know, in Rajasthan, they eat bajra in the summer, but they change the way in which they eat it. In Tamil Nadu, they eat bajra. It's known as kambu. So they eat bajra in a fermented form. Or again, in Tamil Nadu, they make something called as kambu kood. In Rajasthan, they make bajre ki rabdi. These are both fermented drinks made with millets. and they can be eaten in summers, and they're supposed to be cooling for the body. So it's not so much about the grain, but it's the form and the way in which we are consuming it. That's very, very important. And so if you ferment it, pair it with cooling spices, pair it with cooling things, these are things that can be done to change the जिसको कहते हैं हिंदी में तासीर जो होती है मिलेट की, वो चेंज कर सकते हैं उसको पकाने के तरीके को बदल के. So that's one of the things that's important. Next slide, please. Millets are not good for thyroid. In fact, there is nothing documentary that says that millets are not good for thyroid. In fact, going gluten-free and on a millet-based diet has helped many people in healing the thyroid issues. The only confusion happens is because, you go online, a lot of these Western induced websites, they do some fear mongering around millets and everything. There was one particular case in which there was excessive consumption of pearl millet or bajra in one particular area in Africa. And in that particular area, because their diet was naturally deficient in iodine, and they were consuming only bajra, that it led to some issues for people. But see, that's not what we are advocating in any case. We are telling you to have a diverse platter, a diversity in diet. Excess of anything is bad. So if you pick up even one millet and just consume only that, that's not going to be good for you. Have a diverse platter, include a diversity of grains in your diet, and that's what's going to benefit you. Because we were never a nation that was eating only 2 grains. We were a nation which had a very rich heritage of very diverse grains in our diet, and that's what we are talking about going back to. Next slide, please. Millets are expensive. See, the thing is, technically, if you look at the per kg cost, of course, it looks expensive. There's a lot of things that goes behind that. One is, of course, farmers have stopped growing it. We have stopped consuming it. The supply is definitely very, very low right now. Plus, wheat and rice have seen a lot of subsidies, a lot of support by the government. Now, this year, there is government support that has started on millet. So that pricing in that sense per kg wise, absolutely, is of course going to take some time to stabilize. But if we look at some of the other aspects, now, if you eat, half a cup of rice, you need to probably eat 1/3 of that only in terms of millet. So, per person gram consumption goes down because less is more when it comes to millet. A lesser quantity gives us more nutrition, keeps us fuller for longer, gives us more energy and more everything. So we need to consume lesser quantities of millet. The second aspect is millet also expands quite a bit when you're cooking it. So your half kg of millet and half kg of rice, half kg of millet will last much longer, even if you measure and cook the same amounts. So, it'll, because a smaller quantity yields much more when it is cooked. And the third thing is that if we have to spend a little more on what we are eating at this stage and what we are putting inside our bodies, and we don't fall sick, versus if we don't eat right, fall sick, then we spend money on food and the doctor and the medicines. So in that sense, we find that millet is more of an investment into our better health, so we don't fall sick in the first place, so that our body is more energetic and more, high immunity and, high energy and high everything in the first place. And if we eat right, that can be easily done. So from that sense, it's just an investment into our health. That being said, of course, with all of the work happening around millets, in the long run, prices are bound to stabilize. But, it's taken us so many years to forget growing and eating them. It's going to take a few years before it is stabilized in that sense again. Next slide, please. Millets are a fad. Millets are not a fad. This is not something that's just a coming and going fashion की कोई नई बात है और fashionable है और इसी साल की बात है. ये हमारे संस्कृति का हिस्सा है, हमारे scriptures में है, हमारे cultural references में है, religious references में है, हमारी history में documented है. It is part of who we are. It is part of our nation. It is part of our food habits. It's just that over just the last 30-40 years, we've forgotten about this. It's not a fad. It's something that is very much a part of our regular and should be a part of our regular diet. Next slide. Overcoming some of the challenges when it comes to cooking with millets. There are some specific challenges when it comes to cooking with millets, but with our help, you can very easily overcome these. What are one of the some main challenges? One is that how to cook the millets fluffy like rice. So if you get the water quantities right and you could get the cooking technique right, you can get it absolutely right. Millet should not be undercooked, nor should it be overcooked. If it is overcooked, it becomes like one big blob. अच्छा नहीं लगता है खाने में, एकदम ही हलवा जैसा हो जाता है. तो आप खिला खिला पकाने की जरूरत है ताकि सबको खाने में अच्छा लगे। तो उसमें पानी का हिसाब बहुत जरूरी है कि किस मिलेट में आप कितना पानी डाल रहे हैं। और ये चावल की तरह माइनर मिलेट्स ही पक सकते हैं, ओनली माइनर मिलेट्स कैन बी कुक्ड लाइक राइस, सो कीप दैट इन माइंड। वाटर क्वांटिटीज का टेबल नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में है। तो ये अलग अलग मिलेट्स हैं, फॉक्सटेल, लिटिल, बार्नयार्ड, प्रोसो, कोदो, ब्राउन टॉप। इसमें अगर हम खुले में पकाएंगे इन द स्टॉक पॉट मेथड, द वाटर क्वांटिटीज आर गिवन इन द फर्स्ट कॉलम, and if we pressure cook it, then you reduce the water quantity by half a cup. So that's the pressure cooker slide. You wash the millet, throw away the washing water, and then you soak it for a couple of hours and cook it in the soaking water. Bring it to one boil, reduce the heat on the open pan, and let it absorb all the water. अगर आप ये तरीका follow करेंगे, if you follow this method, then you will get really nice and fluffy millets. Pressure cook करने के लिए पानी आधा कप कम कर दीजिएगा. Next slide, please. Soaking time. Again, many people have questions about soaking time because once they go online, they find वो 8 घंटे 10 घंटे सोक करना है. बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ डिस्कशन के बाद नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन, बहुत सारी और जगह बात हुई है. इतना ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि आपको 8-8 घंटे सोक करने की जरूरत है. हाँ, इफ यू आर वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स रिवर्सिंग सम डिजीजेस एंड कुकिंग द मिलेट इन लाइक अम्बली, जो जिसकी रेसिपी हमने कवर की हुई है अपने कुकिंग कोर्स में, अगर आप अम्बली बनाना चाह रहे हैं और उस तरह का काम करना चाह रहे हैं, तब जरूर आपको थोड़ा लंबा सोक करने की जरूरत है. बट अदरवाइज 2 से 3 घंटे की सोकिंग सफिशिएंट है. आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा 4 घंटे सोक कर सकते हैं. पर उससे ज्यादा, इफ यू सोक इट फॉर लॉन्गर देन दैट, देन यू एंड अप throwing away the soaking water because it starts smelling. And if you're throwing away the water in which you're soaking the millet, the nutrients are all water soluble. तो आप सारा न्यूट्रिशन अपना फेंक रहे हैं. तो आप मिलेट को धो के पानी फेंक दीजिए बेशक, बट जिसमें सोक कर रहे हैं, दैट वाटर हैज टू बी यूज्ड फॉर कुकिंग. So that's very important. So 2 hours of soaking as per me are good enough. Next slide, please. रोटी कैसे बनानी है? रोटी का भी एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज होता है कि ग्लूटेन फ्री, उसमें गेहूं मिलाएं ना मिलाएं, क्या करें, रोटी नहीं बनती है, टूट जाती है. तो ये एक टेक्निक है जो फोटोज में आपको हमने दिखाया है. जैसे ज्वार का आटा है, तो जितना आटा उतना पानी. पानी को आप उबाल लेंगे, उबलते हुए पानी में आप आटा मिलाएंगे और मिक्स करेंगे, उसको ढक के छोड़ देंगे. निकाल के देन वी नीड इट अगेन फॉर सम टाइम, and then the dough that you get by this method is very beautiful and it will roll out easily. रोटी बढ़िया बनेगी और फूली फूली बनेगी. So follow this method for making gluten free rotis. Next slide, please. क्या बना सकते हैं मिलेट से? What can we cook with it? Just about anything. There is nothing that you cannot do with millets. We have made things like ice cream, handmade, homemade pasta, dosa, biryani, pulao, idli, kheer, different types of rotis and parathas. Just about anything. And now the situation is such that companies or brands like ours, so we are like from Millets for Health, right? We have such a wide variety of options available for you that you don't have not at a loss for anything. पोहा आप बनाना चाहते हैं, मिलेट का पोहा अवेलेबल है. सूजी बनाना चाहते हैं, सूजी का हलवा बनाना चाहते हैं, तो मिलेट की बनी हुई सूजी अवेलेबल है, तो आपको गेहूं नहीं खाना पड़ेगा. आप चावल के रूप में खा सकते हैं. अंकुरित आटे हैं, स्प्राउटेड फ्लावर्स मेड आउट ऑफ मिलेट्स व्हिच आर वेरी गुड फॉर यंग चिल्ड्रन. देन वी हैव नूडल्स, पास्ता, नमकीन, लड्डू, ब्रेड, बैटर. तो प्रोडक्ट में इतनी सारी वैरायटी अवेलेबल है कि आपका खाने का कुछ भी प्रेफरेंस हो तो प्रोडक्ट उसके लिए अवेलेबल है. और अब धीरे धीरे ये बदलेगा ही. तो जिस तरीके से गेहूं और चावल के इतने सारे प्रोडक्ट हैं मार्केट में और मैदे के, उसी तरीके से मिलेट के प्रोडक्ट भी बढ़ रहे हैं. तो आप जैसे अपने बच्चों को जंक कम करना चाहते हैं कि वो मैदे की बनी हुई चीजें ना खाएं, तो मिलेट के ऑल्टरनेटिव्स अब अवेलेबल हैं जो आप बच्चों को खिला सकते हैं. पर देखिए, वो मेन खाना कभी भी नहीं हो सकता. आपको मेन खाने में बदलाव करने की जरूरत है. वी नीड टू चेंज आवर स्टेपल फूड ऑल्सो. But even in the snacks, there are healthier alternatives available, and you can very easily opt for them. And even in the basic millets, the range is so wide of what you can cook with them. You can cook just about anything. Next slide. Thank you very much. और कोई questions होंगे तो I'll be happy to answer them towards the end.
Thanks a lot, Pallavi, and it was really amazing. The kind of things which you shared, I'm sure will be very new for people and would give them a lot of confidence that they can bring millets to their lifestyle. So now what we will do is we will share the recipe and then we will share about the program and the book which we'll be giving to all the people who are there present in the session.
So we'll be doing a gluten-free dessert recipe, which is how to make a gluten-free chocolate cake. In this recipe, the ingredients are regular jowar flour. So this is not sprouted or treated in any way. This is just normal jowar flour, raw sugar or khand, some coconut oil, almond milk, cocoa powder, yogurt or plant-based yogurt, baking powder and vanilla essence. So these are the ingredients and we just need to mix them together. So first what we are going to do is we are going to sieve the jowar flour and one teaspoon of baking powder together. So this is mixed together. I'll quickly keep this aside. Now we'll mix the wet ingredients together. So for the wet ingredients, another thing that we needed to mix in this is the cocoa powder. So I'm just going to add the cocoa powder and just give it another sieve. We need to mix about 4 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the dry ingredients, the cocoa powder is also very important. So we'll just mix it together. What you can do is if you forget, you can just re-sieve the whole thing together if you want to mix it well. Just going to give it one nice mix to make sure it's even. You can just whisk the whole thing together again. Yes, so this is mixed thoroughly. Now let's mix together the wet ingredients. Almond milk, yogurt, half cup each. We'll add the sugar to this as well. About 1 cup of sugar. One teaspoon of vanilla essence. And about 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. We'll mix all the wet ingredients together well. That's okay. So now we're mixing the wet and dry ingredients together. So our batter is ready. This is the dripping batter consistency that we need to reach. We've mixed together the wet and dry ingredients. Now this is a pre-greased cake baking tin. I'm going to pour the batter in this. Just going to give it, we'll just give it a few quick taps and we'll put it in the oven for about 40 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. This is what your cake will look like. These are delicious, guilt-free, gluten-free, millet-based cakes, and you can bake them for any occasion without feeling a twinge of guilt about it. So do give it a try next time you have something special happening, and have it with whatever sides of choice. You can even, frost this cake with whatever frosting you have, and it will taste delicious.
Thanks. I'm sure everyone enjoyed the recipe. Now we will share how you want to learn more, you want to buy products. So we'll just quickly share that how you can go about it. And then we will take up the question and answer. So we are giving away this free ebook. We will share this very soon in the chat. So please, you can download it and enjoy this 10-minute, 10 delicious recipes or curated by Pallavi, especially for the session. So the course, as Pallavi mentioned, that she has put all her knowledge and science and everything in one course, and it has everything you can think of about millets. Not only understanding about millets, how to make a meal plan with millets. Then we have the recipe section, which has snacks and breakfast. You can make varieties of snacks and breakfast recipes for your family, for yourself. Then we have main course meals, whether it is you're looking for pulao, whether you're looking for pasta. So any of we have made sure that different palates, different interests, whether it's a kid, family, or any individual who wants a real good spread and something on day-to-day basis or want to eat, everything is included in the main course meals. Then we have rotis and spreads, whether you want to make akki roti down south, you might want to make a normal fulka from north, you want to make a khoba roti from Rajasthan, or you want to make a baked bread. Everything is covered in the program, or a dosa, or paniyaram. These we have covered it all in this. Then we have delicious desserts. Again, all the varieties, whether you want to make a laddu, you want to make a kheer, cake you just saw, you want to make a cookie. Now we have covered it all. Then we have two more modules. These are live session recordings on snacks and South Indian cooking. And especially for people who are buying today, we are adding one more module, the summer cooking for millets. So, that'll give you how to cook millets in summers, different recipes. That module is also being updated in the program. So now we don't want to leave you just with the course. We have a very, very active community of people where Pallavi makes sure that they are supported to their queries. If they have any doubt, they're sharing the recipe. And so Pallavi makes sure that everyone has that answer to their queries in a private WhatsApp group exclusively for anyone who's buying the program. So we have, in the program, we have included 5+ hours of content. Now the recipe content is 40+ recipe demonstration videos. 5 recipe ebooks are there. The Q&A support I just shared. You have full 1-year access to the program, and you will also get a certificate of completion. So, let's
I
hear
would love to
from,
share the experience. I would
Mirali.
love to
How was
share
her
the
experience
experience
of
of
incorporating millet?
how my husband reversed his high cholesterol and the diabetes, and also his hypertension also. My husband is an interventional cardiologist who does angioplasty and angiogram, and he works at Fortis Hospital, Chennai, as head of the department. And in 2009, he developed this diabetes and high cholesterol, and he was eating everything what is mentioned according to his medical knowledge, but that did not help him. Then he started taking the medicines, and of course you know that the medicines, they have the side effects. We can't deny that. So then what happened? I came to know about this millet diet since I was vegan. So I came to know about the millet diet, and then I thought, okay, let me attend the workshop. So I attend one of the workshop, and then I tried it at home for about like 4 to 6 months. And in 6 months, he was totally off medicine, and it was so sustainable. The whatever you can cook with rice and wheat, you just have to replace them with the right kind of millet. So it was one of the very wonderful experience. And from 2012 till now, we are completely on the millet-based diet. Millet-based, that is our staple food, to be honest. So we are completely on that, and we are so happy to naturally reverse all the lifestyle diseases. So I'm so grateful that I attended that workshop, and I'm so grateful that I have attended today's workshop also. So I highly, highly recommend that going on the millet-based diet is the ultimate medicine, off dairy, completely off dairy, and off any animal product, and the millet-based diet. That's the medicine. Because how long will you get your surgery done, like heart surgery, this surgery, bypass, kidney, all this thing. So our food is our medicine. So I guess what could be the better medicine than the millets, and what is this naturally designed by the mother nature for all of us. So this is my experience. Thank you so much.
So, what we saw is amazing experience of real person, how, incorporating millets changed her life and,
Hi, this is Kanika.
cured the conditions for her husband, who himself was a doctor. So now if you want to buy millets, we have a millet starter package. It is great for people who are just starting. It has little millet rice, foxtail millet rice, barnyard flour, and a sprouted jowar flour. You can make very simple, easy dishes, whether it's a fulka or rice, pulao, all these things can be made. Then we have kids package. We have added some unique products to it, which we know kids love. We have little millet macaroni, jowar noodles. They are made with very clean ingredients with no preservatives. So something which is very safe and healthy for kids. I'm sure instead of giving them things like Bournvita, Chyawanprash, or Complan, there are much more nutrients, and children love these millet-based products, and in incorporating their millets in their diet is a great start to their healthy life. Then we have someone who is recovering, or the family members recovering from the health pack, for any chronic lifestyle disorders. They need to be on more wholesome diet, as well as diet which is more alkalizing. So all the millets, as Pallavi shared, they are alkalizing, and that's what we have incorporated. We have a package of what we call as Siri Dhanya. So they have 5 millet rice variants: foxtail, brown top, kodo, proso, and barnyard millet. They are whole millets. Then we have kodo poha and the gluten-free flour, which can be used to make chapatis and other stuff. Then we have millet family package, something for entire family, whether it's kids, elderly, adults, day-to-day, things. So it has a mix of some value-added items as well as some whole items with you. So how it works is you just register for the program. Within 24 hours, you will get access to the program and add it to the alumni group. And within 48 hours, your product pack will be dispatched. In 8 to 10 working days, products are delivered anywhere in India. Now, the price, we are offering it at a very exclusive price only for today. It's $7.99 if you want to buy an e-learning program. It is the most comprehensive e-learning program available anywhere in the world. And no one will give you, people say, okay, we can go to YouTube, but how many times you will see that ad? And will Pallavi be there to answer your questions there? The answer is no. That's why this is one of our most popular. More than close to 1,000 people have now bought this program, and they're really enjoying this journey. Then if you want to buy a starter package in combo with EL, then the price is 999. And if you want to buy a kids or a health combo, the price is 1499, and family package is for 1999. In all the packages, e-learning is included. I repeat, in all the packages, e-learning and shipping is included anywhere in India. So, the products, as Pallavi shared, they're unadulterated. The quality check is done. They are freshly packed, and you will not find those high quality of millets, at anywhere else. And we are also giving some a free e-learning program in addition to Millets for Health Cooking, a 50 vegan recipe Kickstarter. All the recipes in the program are plant-based, no animal products are used, no preservatives, no refined ingredients have been used, no white sugar, no white salt has been used. They are really great because every recipe we tasted in after recording those videos. So they are what you see on the screen, and you can pay via GPay or Paytm. These are the numbers which are given, or you can scan the code which you can see on the screen. So we'll now be happy to take up the questions we have, and I also would request my team member to share the free ebook, which you can download. So let me just check the set of questions.
I've been answering
Okay.
a lot of questions in the chat, Ankur, already.
Sure.
One of the things that somebody said was that, the pasta, etc., had some wheat. Yes. So some of our value added products do have wheat added. If you want completely gluten free, that is very clearly mentioned. So our jowar noodles are completely gluten free. And, many of the other snacks are also like the khakras, our noodles, many of the other things are almost 95% of the products are completely gluten free. There are 5% of the products, because they cannot commercially be made without adding some wheat. Those products have added wheat, but these products also, they do not have any preservatives, any maida, or any additives or artificial coloring. So they are much healthier than the other options available, which are primarily maida based. So that's why we are giving these options as replacement of the junk that people end up eating. But yes, if you want to buy only gluten-free products, that is very clearly mentioned that which products are gluten-free. So you can always ask us and we can let you know. Then a lot of people asked replacement for sugar. So if you can replace sugar with dates, with like a puree. We have used raw sugar. You can even use jaggery. If you want to make like a sugar-free cake, if you want to add like stevia or other things, that also you can do. So that will work very well in this recipe. Does millet flour have to be made from soaked and dried millets? If you have the bandwidth, then you can soak and dry and make. But so for us, we do sprouted jowar and sprouted ragi. So in these two flours, the flours are soaked, sprouted. Sorry, the whole grain is soaked, sprouted, dried, and then made into flour. So we do make the soaked and sprouted flour, but we make them from jowar and ragi. So these two are available with us. And if you have the bandwidth, you can do it at home for the other millets also. If you don't, what you can do is you can knead the flour, knead the atta, and make the atta, and give it resting time for like 1 hour, keep it covered, and then use it. So that is also very helpful in terms of hydrating the millet. Any other question? Lots of people are asking for links to the ebook and other things.
Yeah,
so
we have posted the link. You can just click and download that recipe ebook. In the meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll just quickly run through the program. Few people had asked me a few one-on-one queries. I'll just quickly run through the package and the course. So as I said, this course is now 8 modules, which we have, where all the basics, all the details about millets is being covered, and all the varieties or different times of the day we eat our food, whether it's a celebratory or whether it is day-to-day food, whether you are looking for handmade pasta, whether you're looking for roti, bread, cookie, dessert, ice cream, everything is covered. We have added now a summer cooking recording module, which will be updated today. And so this is all which has been covered. And this has a total, all the 7+ varieties of millet. There is one recipe at least of each of them. And any alternates also have been shared. Then there are almost 40+ recipe demonstration videos. 5+ recipe ebooks, 5+ hours of content, and lifetime Q&A support from Pallavi in a private WhatsApp group. I'm not sure what else you need. And then we also have we're giving the certificate,
So
and
I
Hi, this is
and then we have the packages, the starter package, the health package, and the kids package, where you have different set of products which is being there, curated by Pallavi, keeping in mind the needs of people, whether it's for health, kids, or for family. All the prices which you can see on the screen, except first one, which is obviously only e-learning. Uh, Rest all includes the e-learning as well as shipping to any location in India with 8 to 10 working days of delivery time. You can just make your payment via GPay or Paytm and through the scan code which you can see. If you have any other questions, we'll be happy. The chat is open. Jasleen, that we have already shared that, that for each millet, the table is there. Rest all anyway in the program we have included. So you can use any nut milk. You can use coconut milk. You can use cashew milk. Okay, so there is a question about what are positive millets. Pallavi, there is question about what are positive millets.
Okay, sorry. The positive millets, some people have given the nomenclature to certain specific millets as positive millets. So basically that is depending on the fiber ratio in the millets. Jowar, bajra and ragi have a slightly lower fiber to carb ratio as compared to the minor millets. So your foxtail millet, little millet, kodo millet, barnyard millet, and brown top millet, these 5 have a higher fiber ratio. So they have, by certain groups, have been put into the category of positive millets and because of the high fiber content. But all of the millets, even jowar, bajra, ragi, and all of the minor millets, they are all extremely healthy. And we should focus on inclusion of all of this because see, the amount of calcium that ragi can give us, no other millet can give. Even the quality of protein in jowar, and if you're used to eating rotis, the kind of rotis that you can get from jowar, much, definitely much more fibrous than wheat rotis and more nutritious. And still it will give you a great result in terms of, being able to make that roti. So that's also there. And then the folic acid iron content in bajra is very high. So, all the millets have something special going for them. So we should include all of them. Yes, these 5 millets are more rich in fiber, but nutritionally, all of them have something great to offer.
Then there is question. There few people are asking question about ebook. We'll keep sharing because the messages it gets lost, but we'll send it. And
somebody asked, are your minor millets dehulled? Yes, our minor millets are dehulled but unpolished. So they cannot be consumed without being dehulled. So they are dehulled, but we are on principle, our products, even the millets are unpolished, and all value-added products are also made from unpolished millets only. We don't add any preservatives or additives to any of our value-added products also. And they are of the best quality. So there'll be some of the cleanest millets you will ever use.
Then there is question. Yes, Jaspreet, you can just buy as I shared at 799. You only e-learning you can just buy. That is there. Then yes, Romila, we have a salad recipe in the program. So yes, you can also make interesting salads with the millets. I don't know, Neetu, what you mean, but in the program, yes, in the ebook, the free ebook we are given, these are all, you have barnyard millet that is there, correct? But in the course, we have covered all the different, types of millets. Chai is asking, can we mix millets in a meal? I don't know whether she's meaning multiple millets in one meal. I think
that's the question. You can see there is the thing is that see it's always ideal to have one grain at a time. But if you find that you can't do that right in the beginning, and if you want to do some mixing, maybe make some different 1 or 2 millets or mix some wheat, whatever, if you're not allergic, then you can very well do that. See that it's not something that you need to change instantly. Going on, a health journey, it's a journey for us all. Take whatever steps you can, even if they are small, and then keep taking your steps regularly, and maybe you can reach the eventual goal. But you can make a start by mixing also. There is nothing wrong with that.
So, Nidhi, the recipe for Jawar chocolate cake and everything is there in the program, and not in the free ebook. But if you want, you can maybe watch a recording. How to make a sprouted Jawar flour? Is it possible to make at home, uh, I don't know. Is it
Yeah,
possible?
it's definitely possible. I mean, if you have the time and the bandwidth, it's easily possible. You can sprout jawar like you sprout chana, sprout it, dry it. If you have good sunshine, dry it. It's important that the atta is dry, otherwise just make very small batches, because after sprouting, you need to dry it properly, and then you make it into flour. So if you're getting good sunshine, you can dry it as well and make small batches. You can make it at home. So it's a beautiful flour, and smells beautiful, and it's very, very nutritious for young children especially. Otherwise, you can buy it from us. We make it in small batches, and there's great quality control.
Yeah. So, some of the things like flour and all, you can obviously make at home, or sprouted flour has an additional step. But if you are short on time or any resources, then, go for the sprouted millet flours. Yes, we have a cookie recipe as well in the program. Uh, okay, so I think multi-grain, thing has been already answered, that it is ideally to have one millet at a time, but occasionally you can mix millet, not on regular basis.
There are many people who just want to buy the product.
Yes,
We
they
can
can do
share the
that.
link. We can share the link of the storefront, and you can
Yeah.
just directly buy the products. Barnyard millet is known as sama or samaka chawal in Hindi. People from outside of India can very well do the course. Not a problem. You can pay just for the e-learning right now and do the course. Cake recipe, I think Ankur will have to share the ingredients with people. Lots of people are
Yeah.
asking.
We will just share the recording. You can just watch it. So,
Thyroid, you can use all types of millets. Maybe
yes.
avoid any excessive consumption of bajra. The rest you can very easily
Yeah.
use. The course is recorded, and you can watch it at your own pace. Whatever time you need, one recipe one day, all the entire course in one day. It's completely up to you. And you can watch it again and again, and you can ask us your questions in the group.
Yes, Jasleen, yes, it is recommended to soak millets, and Pallavi already shared the soaking time may vary because it makes it more digestible and more, you can cook it. So, especially when we are providing you unpolished millets, it is always good to soak them. It will reduce the cooking time as well as will make them much more digestible. Yes, we'll share the link. People who just want to buy single product, which is the Neetu, we'll share that chart about. It is called samak rice, barnyard millet. This is usually consumed in during the fasting uh, period. Okay, so I think we have covered the. No, oats is not a millet. Sabina, oats is not a millet. There are separate category of crop altogether.
Varai
Okay, so
is yeah, I think Varai is the
people,
same as barnyard millet.
yeah. Few people are asking about the package question. So starter package has these four products: little millet rice, foxtail millet rice, barnyard flour, and sprouted jowar flour. Then we have millet kits package. It has macaroni, khakra, noodles, barnyard rice, sattu, jowar pops. Jowar pops are like replacement for your popcorn. And then Millets for Health package has a gluten-free flour, photo poha, and five types of what we call as Sri Dhanya or positive millets. So they are whole millets because for health we have made sure that that's how it works. There are no timings as such. That's the best part because people are short on time and they need flexibility. That's why we created this e-learning program. So e-learning will be pre-recorded. You can just watch it as many as times with each recipe, niche text recipe would be there, and the knowledge videos are anyway you'll getting. Nandini is asking, should millets and flours be stored in refrigerator?
If you store it in an airtight container, that works too. The only season when it's a little bit of a challenge is during the rainy season. So moisture tends to wreak some trouble for millets. But then some people prefer to store it in the refrigerator. But if you buy the quantities you need and store it in airtight containers, that is good enough. And buy fresh product. Try to source like fresh product, freshly ground flours, fresh attas. From our end, our products are all attas are ground on order. Our products are latest batch, very, very fresh. So even our, the unpolished millets also have a great shelf life. So if you buy like fresh product, then your problems should be minimized. But yes, all of the millets and, a lot of naturally organic products do tend to attract pests. So sharing it in airtight containers. And if you have the space in your fridge, storing it in the fridge also will enhance the shelf life.
Yes, someone has asked about millet ice cream. Yes, plant-based millet ice cream has been covered in the program.
Can we soak?
Yes, Parth, if the person can digest any rice or wheat, they can definitely digest millets. They are easier to digest. There is no prescription unless until if you have any doubt, you can always ask because gallbladder has a very different role in digestion. It has no concern when it comes to having millets with people without gallbladder.
Someone asked, can we soak dal and millet together to grind and use? You can, but then it will not. So for like dosa and other things, it has to be soaked and ground separately and then mixed. But if you soak it together and all, then you can make something like an adai from it. Different types of dal, or in the North Indian context, you can also make it like a chila. And so soak different millet and dal together, but make sure you're soaking whole millet, and you can make something very nice out of it.
So no, Kavita, we have not shared a frosting recipe, but frosting you can easily make, because this is all millet-based program, but cake is something which we have made without frosting. Okay, so Jolly is asking about, which millet is good to reverse diabetes.
All of them are good to reverse diabetes. You may want to avoid any sprouted attas, and also if you are diabetic, ragi also very minimal consumption. Other than that, everything else is good to reverse diabetes. Minor millets are better.
Okay, great. So, and that's what we have done in the health package. We have included all the 5, minor millets in there. So, Jyoti, we have, you can just watch the recording. We have given soaking times for each and different, jowar. But as Pallavi shared, you can soak millets for 3 to 4 hours. That's good enough
No, this is
for
for
any type
sprouting
of.
of. This is Jyoti is asking for sprouting of jwar.
Okay.
For jwar,
Okay.
you soak it overnight and then tie it like you sprout like chana or moong and things like that. So
Okay.
you
Yeah.
can sprout it like that, depending on the weather in your region.
Yes, Indu, you will get an ice cream recipe in the program. There is one ice cream recipe which is there in the program. Okay. So you mentioned allergy. So